This week on C Plus News Time, The Late Show is headed to Russia. Both The Carmichael Show and Downward Dog are on the renewal bubble, and this season's Emmy campaigns are just as expensive as a recent 6th district election in Georgia. Look at that. This show can be topical. I promise. No more politics. The only elections I want to hear about are the rare shows elected to the itty-bitty Emmy committee to be nominated for this year's awards. Maybe this year, Key and Peele will finally win their... What's that? Oh, that show ended 2 seasons ago, and they already got their Emmy? Okay. Well, surely Modern Family and Veep will. Them too, huh? Yeah. Let me guess. Kate McKinnon got one too last year, right? Okay. I don't remember any of the award shows, it turns out, so watch me campaign for more RAM on this. C Plus News Time. What does that even mean?
It's C Plus News Time. Delivering to you the news you didn't know about, the news you didn't care about, and the news you didn't know you cared about. With host, Chad White. Now, here's that host, Chad White.
I just want to let all the ladies know that you are safe to be around me alone. Not this guy, though. Welcome back to C Plus News Time. I'm your host, Chad White, and this is the comedy news I didn't know about for the week of June 19th, 2017. No one knows inside Veep jokes. First up, Stephen Colbert is about to join a very prestigious club. The late-night host has been back at it for almost a year now, having persevered through ups and downs, as any host would. Now, the bespectacled man will take The Late Show to Russia, or rather, he has taken it to Russia. This past Thursday and Friday, Colbert's Late Show aired reruns in favor of going to the vodka exporting country. What he's doing there is a mystery, but he most likely filmed a special, probably in the same vein as Conan O'Brien's Remotes. Colbert is set to return this Monday, tonight. Next up, 2 of my favorite shows of the summer are in jeopardy. Neither ABC's Downward Dog nor NBC's The Carmichael Show have been picked up. I shouldn't jump too far ahead of myself. After all, The Carmichael Show is in its 3rd season. And just because Downward Dog is a freshman series doesn't mean ABC doesn't want anything to do with it. I mean, it is lasting longer than Imaginary Mary, after all. The reason this is a story is, as Nelly and Driva of Deadline puts it, is the studios that produce these shows have to pick up options for the actors on June 30th. That would come regardless of a renewal by the network. And Driva said that she heard 20th TV, the studio behind Carmichael, is putting out feelers to other networks in case NBC passes. Keep in mind that last year the network picked up the show at the last possible second. Downward is apparently doing well with the social media angle, especially since people love dogs, but ABC is in a bit of a bind as it has 7 returning comedy series and 3 new half hours, 2 ready for a mid-season premiere. That seems like a good problem to have, though. I don't see why they can't just air the 2nd season next summer. Not everything has to be in the fall, winter, or spring. I know it's an advertising money thing. Both shows have had steady ratings, which is good, and positive reviews, which is spectacular. And finally, with the Emmys just a few months away, campaign season is upon us. As if we hadn't had enough from that other important election, this season is going to be tighter than a 90s catchphrase slang term. Gagged me with a spoon, that was terrible. Stop me if you heard this one. This past television season had over 450 new scripted series. 454 to be exact. That statistic comes from none other than, say his name with me, FX's John Landgraf. Thank you. He owes me by how much I mentioned him on this show. Landgraf says peak TV is upon us, and I cannot agree more. It seems a new show debuts every week, from broadcast to cable to premium and streaming services, and even YouTube and HBO and Vimeo. There's a lot of ways to watch and not enough time. But the Emmys will help you suss out the best of the best shows. Over the spring and early summer, have you ever seen any commercials or internet ads or real-life billboards with your favorite characters on them? They're campaigning for the most coveted television-focused awards show. However, this year seems to be a lot busier. Not only that, it's way more expensive than it has ever been. You can thank the sheer amount of contenders for that. Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon are joining the likes of ABC, NBC, Fox, CBS, who will only have to contend with FX, Comedy Central, AMC, HBO, Stars, and Showtime, and many others for the most golden statues. Just take a look at a Netflix Emmy party from this year. 300 people surrounded waiters who were carrying cylinders of Pringles, mini croissants, and finger peanut butter, honey, and banana sandwiches. Free drinks were there too, because what's an Emmy party without free drinks? There were exhibits dedicated to Netflix's shows throughout several levels of the building. And get this, it was just one of 24 parties the service is throwing to entice voters. Netflix even has a 2-month lease on a property on Wilshire Boulevard that's estimated to be worth $200,000. Amazon fared no differently. In May, they hosted a 2-week event at the Hollywood Athletic Club, one of their many pop-up experiences surrounding their many shows. The For Your Consideration event was an immersive experience featuring a pop-up museum of sorts. Panels and screenings were available there too. But Amazon isn't aiming for a ritzy affair. They want several smaller events. And think about it. The plan is genius. For every multi-level building Netflix utilizes, Amazon could have a multi-layered approach for one show and less money. As long as they have an open bar, people will be happy. Emmy politicking, that's politicking with a K, is up 20% at The Hollywood Reporter, according to Executive Vice President and Publisher Lynn Siegel. Advertising and campaigning has gotten huge in an age where viewers don't want ads or campaigns. Plus, with those 454 new shows, there's a sizable amount of TV to promote. 40 characters from Hulu's The Handmaid's Tale strolled down the streets of Beverly Hills in their dour moods, for instance. Billy Eichner went on a street with the cast of This Is Us, executing a segment that could play for both shows' nominations. Campaigns have never been this grotesque before. Still, though, there's some elegance in not campaigning. Rachel Bloom put out a music video of how she's not going to traipse herself around for that little golden man. And the minds behind CBS's Mom gave the money they'd use for marketing to Planned Parenthood. That's $250,000. $250,000 is going to help so many women instead of convincing people to choose a show for an award. That's gumption and heart not many others have. The deadline for all 21,000 voters, that's a real number, not a typo, is today, June 26th. Come July 13th, we'll have the nominated shows announced. To think the barnstorm started in April and lasts until June, Emmy campaigns have considerably less time to lobby for their shows. How are voters meant to watch dozens upon dozens upon dozens of screeners sent to their homes, a lot of the discs carrying multiple episodes of a show? Obviously, they can't watch all of them, so they'll choose their favorites or the ones with the most buzz. I did a little research in order to find what Television Academy members have to do in order to vote. I found a 76-page PDF document created by said Academy that had all the answers. The document had instructions on how to apply for entry within the group. There were definitions, ways for studios to upload shows to their database, and all the stuff you'd ever want to know about the process. It's not for the weak-hearted, needless to say, and it's not the only document. There are a handful of others with varying lengths covering a swath of other topics. As you can see, it takes a lot of hard work in order just to get recognized, at which point you might not even be chosen to participate in the award show. I think the biggest knock in the face is when they ask you to present. It'd be cool, sure, but you want to be on the other end of that exchange. The Emmys are proving to be a lot like a regular old election, a bombardment of parties with insufferable people in order to get the majority of them to make you one of the select few, only to lose to the Big Bang Theory for the 3rd year in a row. We won't know who the real winners are until Sunday, September 17th, but what I do know is we're all winners, and I'm including myself in there, even though I don't exactly work in TV. And that's all the news I have for you for this week on C Plus News Time. Why don't you subscribe and check out one of our other videos? Of course, you can head to the website cpluscomedy.com for a whole bunch of stuff. You can follow us on Twitter at cpluscomedy. Follow me on Twitter at ChadBlackWhite. Like us on Facebook. And be sure to head to youtube.com/cpluscomedy for way more comedy bits. You're welcome. Bye-bye.